Oh, man, that just sounds good. We have football Thursday night with the Hall of Fame game. Hey, the Dallas Cowboys and Jerry Jones and Stephen Jones signed
a contract
for a player entering the final year of his rookie contract. Unfortunately, it was not Micah Parsons over the weekend. That was Jake Ferguson, tight end, 4-year deal, $52 million extension. Keep him in Dallas through 2029. He's your tight end of the now and the future now. Takes home $30 million guaranteed. He was a fourth-round pick out of Wisconsin, entering his fourth year of that rookie deal. He becomes the seventh highest paid player in the league. But speaking of Jerry Jones and the Micah Parsons thing, so Jerry, training camps in Oxnard, California, as Jerry calls it. And I always say they should bring it back to Austin because when they were training in Austin for 5 years, they won 3 Super Bowls. But, that's just me. Went to St. Edwards at the time. But here's Jerry Jones. Here he is addressing the crowd, and then you'll start to hear the crowd say, and they start yelling, "Pay Micah, pay Micah." But listen to what Jerry says. Jerry's he knows the fans are disappointed. The crowds are down at Cowboys camp this month so far. They only just started. But here's Jerry Jones with some of his pep rally.
I was shocked. I was shocked last year when we ended up with the record that we had. I never saw that coming. I want you to know, and I want you to look for as you watch practices this week. I want you to watch what we've done in the areas that we needed to work on. Look at what we've done in this offensive line. Look at what we've done, if you will, with our receiver corps. Look at what we're doing with our defense. A lot of changes out here, a lot of coaching changes, a lot of player changes. They're going to be Dallas Cowboys of the year 2025. Let me get mine straight. But folks, we are so proud to have this practice, get this team ready, build this team in front of you. Thank you for your support. Great to have you here. Thank you.
All right, so there you go, Jerry Jones. He was shocked, even though they did nothing last offseason to improve the ball club. Shocked about the outcome of last year. So there you go. Enjoy it. Yeah, look, so far early returns, George Pickens has been great. CeeDee Lamb, and then even like Jalen Tolbert and, Jonathan Mingo has flashed. And the guy that's really flashing, we'll talk more about this at the bottom of the hour, is Jaden Blue.
Yes.
Jaden Blue's having a really good camp. He made an incredible catch over the weekend. And I will say this on a Good, Bad, and Ugly Monday. Jack, you can attest to this. One of the things that tires me out is if you watch social media, somebody makes one play. And I know we're excited for football, but it's like it goes viral. Like this Jaden Blue catch, or Quinn Ewers made a pass in the Dolphins camp, which we'll talk about. And it's like, oh, man, league's in trouble. That is like one throw in practice. It's like, go on, y'all.
Well, I mean, that's how some front offices work.
I know.
Look at Zach Wilson.
I know.
One throw at a pro day.
I know, but again, tap the brakes, but we are excited. But there is a lot to like about it. But Dak Prescott, by the way, was asked about the Micah Parsons thing because he was dealing with this exact same scenario last year. Actually, he's been dealing with it. He was dealing with it a couple times here along the way. He said, and here's Dak Prescott. This goes back to the locker room's trying to focus on the locker room and leave Jerry out of it, but they all know what's going on. He said, it's every year conversation, whether it's myself, Zach Martin, CeeDee Lamb, now Micah Parsons. It's part of it in the sense it's something that I wish any of us weren't going through. Absolutely not, but Mike is doing well, and he's doing a hell of a job being out here. So everybody knows this is Jerry's way of operating. No one agrees with it. No one understands it. But what are you going to do? He's the boss.
Oh, exactly.
He signs the checks. And so and Brian Schottenheimer is trying to do, because last year was such a distraction, because not only did the players have to go through it and your quarterback, your head coach was unsigned.
Yes, exactly.
I called it the lame duck year last year because everybody was a lame duck.
Well, yeah, prove that you can get 12 wins again, Mike. And Mike couldn't. Well, I'm sure the team entirely fell apart. The problem, though, I think I see with this is every time that this happens, like you said with CD, Dak, Zach Martin, things like that, it always gets done.
I know.
It always
costs more.
Yeah, and that's Jerry's problem. But I'm just, who cares? I know that Mike is going to get a contract. It may be when they're coming out of the tunnel on Thursday night against the Philadelphia Eagles.
Let me say this. I don't know that if you put truth. Stephen Jones was asked over the weekend about it. He said, well, Micah has to want to get paid. Mike is kind of waiting this thing out, too. Well, Jerry and Steve haven't even called his agent, which is what he's asked them to do, and David Mulugeta. So we'll see. But Micah doesn't have to have a contract this year. He does not have to.
No.
Dak Prescott had to have a contract last year, or else he was a free agent in last March.
Yes.
And that's why I went to the final day, and he won the battle, and he's now the highest paid player in all of pro football. Micah doesn't have to get a deal. You could go into the offseason. He could be franchise tagged next year. They control that whole situation. They don't want to do that. That's part of why they wanted to get Jake Ferguson done, because you only franchise tag one player. Jake's now locked up, and we'll see. I mean, I think it'll get done. It normally does get done. And, here we are. So that's where they are. And Jaden Blue's having a good camp. So far, so good. The Cowboys and Texans won't begin playing preseason games until a week from Saturday.
Yeah.
Right. The first one is Thursday night, but then there's not another preseason game until the following Thursday. And then they get going. It's just the Hall of Fame game in Canton this weekend. So, yes, the Cowboys off and going under Camp Shoddy. Camp Brian Schottenheimer. They want to run the football. So far, Jaden Blue's been a nice surprise, and that's a good thing, because we said going into the camp, I still don't think Jaden Blue's a running back one.
No, change of pace.
So they still have to find that guy. At the bottom of the hour, we'll get back into the Longhorns that are balling out in these training camps. But also wanted to mention the Texans, because you are a Texans fan. Their camp is full go over the weekend, and one of the main topics of their conversation this is there are two big topics: the offensive overhaul led by the new offensive coordinator Nick Caley down in Houston, and the report this weekend from Ian Rappaport of the NFL Network that their starting running back Joe Mixon is dealing with a lingering foot injury that he suffered during the offseason, part of that ankle he dealt with last year. He is not expected to play a single snap for the Texans in their preseason at all, which, as we said, starts a week from Saturday. But let me say one thing. Last summer, they had the same thing going. Last summer, Joe Mixon missed most of the preseason with a quad injury. He didn't play any preseason games.
No.
And then he showed up week one and ran for 160 yards on 30 carries against the Colts. And as a matter of fact, Joe Mixon hasn't taken a preseason live game snap since 2021. This is kind of par for the course for him. Now, the injury bears monitoring. That would be of concern, because I don't know that Nick Chubb's ready to be your running back one. He's a nice complimentary piece. They took the rookie out of USC. Their backfield behind Joe Mixon, who's an almost 30-year-old running back, bears monitoring. Yeah. That is one to watch. But do you have a thought on that?
No, absolutely. Obviously, you want to monitor the fact that he hasn't played in a preseason game in what would be 4 years now. I'm okay with that. I have a lot more faith in Nick Chubb being a year and a half removed from that injury. If I'm correct, Pierce should be still
Damian Pierce is still on the team.
So that's a straight downhill runner right there. So you're going to have a smash and dash regardless. And I think it's wise that the amount of wear that we had to put on Joe Mixon his first year with the Texans as a 30-year-old running back, I believe now.
I think he's just turned 31. I think Nick Caserio and D'Amico Ryans are taking the approach. We've seen him in Cincinnati. Look, a lot of teams are going to do this. Why risk it? And he shows up ready to play. Last year, 160 yards. He ran all over the Colts in a Week 1 victory. They're hoping for the same. But,
much tougher D-line this year than the Colts last year.
And it's not anything it's just a lingering foot issue.
Yeah.
Or that's just, code for, we're not going to mess with it.
Yeah.
We'll get him back out there when we start the year.
Damian Pierce also out right now if you go look at their depth chart on ESPN. But, something you should monitor. Apparently, C.J. Stroud's had a great connection with Christian Kirk so far at training camp. So,
well, let's hear from D'Amico Ryans, because the other big topic, obviously, because everyone trusts that the Texans are going to have a wicked defense, one of the best in the league. Okay. D'Amico Ryans in year 3 just have added talent to that defense. They're healthy on defense, and they're ready to go. I mean, they were good enough last year to make a further run than they did on defense. They harassed really good quarterbacks all year last year, and they're better. They got to stay healthy, but they're good there. But it's about Nick Caley resurrecting and C.J. Stroud into year 3, and it was an amateurish offense we talked about. But here's D'Amico Ryans from camp on what he likes about so far Nick Caley and how he's installing this offense.
He's not McVay. I was second that. He's not McVay. But what he is, he's a coach he's varied in multiple systems, right? In multiple, not just systems, but successful systems. He spent time with McDaniels, in New England. Also McVay. These are arguably two of the best play callers in our game. So he's learned from two really great guys, and to be able to have that background and to be able to put your own spin on it, he's not going to be just a duplicate of those guys. He has the flexibility to make it his own and make the offense fit to the guys that we have on our team, and that's been the cool part of seeing everything come together. It's not just a cookie-cutter offense like, hey, we're running the Rams offense. No, we're running the Houston Texans offense, and we got a lot of playmakers to find a way to get the ball to.
All right, so that's the plan, and I think Nick Caley was a good hire. I love the versatility. I love, winning Super Bowls with Tom Brady and Josh McDaniel in New England, and then Matt Stafford and Sean McVay with the Rams, and he was seen as an up-and-comer. Sean McVay gushes about his work ethic and just the type of coach that he is, and so far in Houston, the returns positive.
Yeah, and if you're working under McDaniels, when McDaniels is an offensive coordinator, not a head coach, that is another system you really want to be a part of. The wide receiver room is so incredibly deep this year. I mean, if they run into the issues that they ran into last year with just guys dropping like flies, there are a lot of flies on this wide receiver core this year for the Texans.
Let's hear from Nick Caley, the first-year offensive coordinator and play caller of the Texans, how he's going to evaluate this roster.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think, there's a lot of things you do. There's discipline, there's mental toughness in terms of being precise with motions, being precise and breaking the huddle with a clean operation, whether it's cadence, changing up cadences, whether it's putting guys in different spots that, mixing some different formations that they may have to, run the same concept for multiple formations. So it taxes you mentally too, not just physically.
All right, he didn't say a ton there, but I wanted to play that because he sounds like Sean McVay. You can almost hear Sean McVay's cadence. Now
hold your nose.
He's got that Midwestern. He's an Ohio guy, but he's been with Sean McVay enough to he's got that same pop to his voice. And we'll see. Speaking of pop, Cole Popovich is their new offensive line coach. They're trying to get that fixed down in Houston as well. So Cowboys and Texans off and running. So far, so good. They begin play in the preseason a week from Saturday. The Cowboys will play the Rams. The Texans will play the Minnesota Vikings. At Minnesota, we'll start to get to see some early returns on this. Not that we're excited for football, but we are.